The main event on this program was the Butcher and the Baker, with Pip Sabian and Penelope Pitstop in the corner. Where's the bunny? And the only reason to see Butcher and Baker was to look at the bunny every once in a while. And they were in a tag team match against Twinkle Toes and Takeshita.
Takeshita, for those of you at home who don't know who Jim's talking about.
I just pronounce it like it's spelled. I do it phonetically. And Bryan Danielson was on color. And this was the main event of the television. We haven't even seen Butcher and Baker have a tag team match in months, and they're the main event spot. But there was 10 minutes on the air, so I had hope when the bell rang. And they went through a break, so that was good too. It was every indie tag team match. Pip was out there doing flips, interfering. There was a lot of sloppiness with the Butcher. The Butcher and the Baker at one point tried to double team on Takeshita and almost dropped him on his head. And then finally, Takeshita hit the Baker with a knee lift, 1, 2, 3. And then all the fun started. Danielson gets up from the desk with the microphone, says, I see one professional in the ring. He's talking about Take. And I see one amateur. He's talking about Toes. And he makes a pitch for Take to join at first he said the Elite. He said, if you were training with the Elite, and people caught it, he stumbled and people caught it and popped a little bit. If you were training with the BBC, then you'd be great. But if you were training with the Elite, you'd be like Cutlet and Knock It Off, washing guys in the shower, which now we know what their actual full-time capacity is there with the company, washing the Buckaroos' balls.
We already knew that.
Well, I thought they were just fondling them. I didn't know they were responsible for actually soaping them up and getting them clean. But anyway, so when Takeshita does not want to join the BBC, and that means that the BBC then attack Takeshita and Twinkle Toes. And they're beating them up. And Moxley goes to take the screwdriver to stab Kenny. But the Buckaroos come out and they super kick everybody over and over. And then they grab the screwdriver and they give Kenny the screwdriver, and they're holding, goddamn, who were they holding? Was it Moxley?
Yeah.
They're holding Moxley. And that's where my DVR froze again. And you sent me, because there was more foolishness to go on. I told you, I said, what else happened? My DVR froze again. And by the way, again, for people, you said the same thing. What the fuck? I set the DVR to record the program that's listed. I do it the same way with every program. You can either say record or don't record. And this is the only program that I don't get the last minute of. So I think their time management is caca. But anyway, you sent me a clip. I said, I hope he took that screwdriver and shoved it up his own ass. But instead, Kenny got the screwdriver. He's going to stab Moxley. But Takeshita comes back in the ring, his own partner, and gets in front and says, don't do that. No, pleading with him not to do it. And the announcers are going, well, why is he doing that? Well, then at that point, the heels take back over and they dump the Buckaroos out on the floor. And Moxley gets the screwdriver back and starts, allegedly, it was so fake looking, stabbing Takeshita in the head with the screwdriver. And remember, Take is the one that they got juice on back about a couple of months ago, where we've never seen. I've seen commercials for Ginsu knives where the blade was on television less than in that segment on the wrestling program. So this time, as soon as he gets stabbed in the head, they go to a shot that completely misses Take down on the mat. They're shooting the heels glorifying. And when they go back to a shot of Takeshita laying on the mat, he's just gotten it and it's dripping on his bicep. And now they're out of time and they're off the air. The guy cut his fucking head to get a shot of a drip on his fucking arm just so that Moxley would think that he's a badass. I can't do the voice. This was a mess. Again, a mess. A fake, convoluted, obviously contrived mess of things. Am I overstating this case?
No. First of all, why a screwdriver? Has it been explained why these wrestlers who hate amateurs, and boy, what a good idea. Let's do a wrestlers versus sports entertainers or amateurs feud. That hasn't just been done on this show. But why the screwdriver? Where did that come from, that it's now a steady thing for them? No explanation, it just is. Danielson's trying to make the most of this he can. But, I don't know, I'm starting to think he has bad instincts when it comes to anything outside of the ring involving wrestling, because this stuff has been terrible. Moxley's entertainingly bad, but every segment he's in is the same kind of, it's almost juvenile booking.
And they're supposed to be so violent. Whenever they attack people and get heat on him, it looks fake. His punches and kicks are fake. His bullshit with gimmicks is fake. It doesn't look real or violent. It just looks fake.
Did you see what they announced for this week's Dynamite?
I did not.
In a cage, Kenny Omega versus Jon Moxley.
Oh, good God.
So coming out of this and these series of angles, we're going to get a cage match on Dynamite. Moxley versus Omega. I don't know. I don't think this BCC versus Elite stuff's doing it. I don't think it's exciting their fans. The booking's been horrible show-wide, but specifically this stupid feud has been extraordinarily bad. I'm really getting to the point where I'm fed up. It's a different kind of... Like with WWE, I get bored and I just don't want to watch TV anymore.
Yeah.
With AEW, I get frustrated and don't want to watch wrestling anymore.
Yeah, it's like, you could have done anything else but this and it would have been better. How can you make the wrong decision every time?
Every time.